we having a crafty nifter? Well, today I'm going to be bringing a little review of the Caroni 12, bottled by Velia. Now, the Caroni 12 hails from Trinidad, made from 100% Trinidadian molasses, and bottled at 100% proof, 50% ABV, so lots of extra power there. Now, for people that are into their rums are going to know all about the Caroni, but for there's people out there that are not new to rum, so I'm going to give you a little bit of brief history about Caroni before I do a tasting. So, brief history about Caroni. Trinidad, in its heyday of sugarcane production, once boasted 50 distilleries on the island. And by 1950, that had gone down to just 8. And to present day, we are now left with just one distillery on the island, and that's Angostura, renowned for its great rums, but also for its Angostura bitters, famous the world over. The Caroni distillery, a little bit about the makeup of the land. The Caroni distillery was situated in a lowland area of the between the northern and central ranges of the island, and the makeup of the island was flat agricultural land and rolling hills, and the Caroni River ran for 25 miles through that region, and was very lush and great for production of sugarcane. Now, from 1923 right up through to 2003, the Caroni distillery was pretty much renowned the world over for producing very distinctive heavy style rums. And basically in 2003 the state-owned sugar mill closed, the last sugar processing plant on the island, and from that point on it pretty much was the nail in the coffin for the Caroni distillery. There were no more sugarcane being produced on the island or grown, and all molasses had to be imported from elsewhere, and with importing costs and God knows what else, it was the nail in the coffin, and we ended up with the distillery closing. A sad day for rum lovers all over the world. Well, Caroni 12, this bottle here itself, contains rum from the 2000 vintage. The last available barrels of 100% Trinidadian rum are produced from locally produced molasses. So really you're having a little bit of history in a bottle when you buy this rum, because you're trying Caroni rum made from the last molasses that came from that island and from that to this distillery. So absolutely wonderful. This bottle was distilled and aged until January the 12th, 2012, and then it was transported to Scotland to the bottling plant of Velia, where it was bottled on the 12th of March 2012. So a very short time between taking these casks and taking them over to Scotland and bottling them. And you can see why, because Velia states that 60% of the distillate was lost through the high tropical heat and the tropical aging conditions. So when they went into the casks, 60% was lost. That's massive amount to be lost to the angel share, shall we say. So what brings a little tear to my eye is the fact that even though that 60% was lost to the angel share, they still bottled it at 50% AVB, because they say they wanted to show what a true Caroni rum tastes like. Absolutely amazing. I think that's a credit to the company, showing you that they do love what they do, because it'd been easy to turn around and try to make it go a little bit further, but no, fantastic, bottled at 50%. The label is very similar to a label that was used in the 1940s, and I must admit, I think it's wonderful. This label, when I first saw it, I thought, wow, what a lovely looking bottle of rum that is. And when you look at it, you can have it, if you have a closer look, tells you there, Caroni, 100% Trinidad rum, aged 12 years, And you've got that picture there of two jack tars, boat in the background, the sea, sitting on a beach, whiling away a bit of time, tarred rope around the outside of the label. I don't think any bottle or label shouts rum more than that. Wonderful bottling. It has a cork stopper, which is always a great added extra, I think. Yeah, really wonderful bottling. Presentation is fantastic. Then when you look at the rum itself, dark golden sort of amber colour. And if I show you in the glass, it might be a little bit. There you go. Real dark amber coloured rum. Really is lovely. Lovely sheen to it. Now, I go into a little bit of a tasting now. And I will say that this is a rum which really does, it's, you know, when you first take your first smell, and you take a quite light smell, take it out, quite light and fruity, unobtrusive. But I suggest you get your nose into the glass and really start to take a smell, because when you take a deep smell, it really ramps up so much more. It becomes quite powerful. You get the distinctive petrol element that comes through on the Caroni rums. But what I really love is when you really take a smell, you get a lovely fresh sort of spruce pine needles aroma that takes over. I think it's wonderful, lovely and fresh, and smells like pine needles and spruce. But then if you swirl it round and let a bit of air get to it, and this takes me back to when I was 18, the next aroma that I got from it, and that was, I'll tell you now, asphaltite. It really does has a powerful asphaltite, tarmac almost aroma, and that taking me back to when I was 18 years old, and I got a job on the local authority, and I used to rake out asphalt ready for rolling. I had a tarmac gang on the local authority, and when you're led over hot asphalt raking it out, I can tell you, when you get a smell like that, boy does it take you back. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful indeed. Now, if you don't go so deep into the glass and just take light smells, it's like charcoal and barbecue lighter fluid. You ever had that when you put charcoal into a barbecue and you spray the lighter fluid on it and you set fire to it and you get that lovely smell of charcoal and a very toned down sort of petrol-y smell that comes off of it. Very similar to that. Quite wonderful. Then you get little light elements of vanilla that's in there. Milk chocolate. I keep getting this little light aroma of milk chocolate in there. With something with such powerful notes, there are also a little more subtle notes in the background. You get a little bit of an element of, like I say, whether it be charcoal or coal, there's a coal element that runs through it. All the while, all these aromas play along sublimely to oak and oak tannins. It's really sort of quite stringent and oaky element that comes in the background as well, of spiced tobacco. It really is quite wonderful. Lovely aromaed rum. I could sit and, I have done, I've sat and just had a glass of this and just smell it, put it down, have another smell before I'll even taste it. I love it. I think it's wonderful. Right, I'll have a little bit of a taste. Wow, this is where, on entry, metallic on entry, very metallic, quite powerful metallic on entry. Quite an intense build of tannic oak. A bit of chocolate coming on through there, definitely. Wonderful. And then it sort of mellows out quite nicely. gives you a little prelude of sweetness, but it almost disappears as soon as it shows its head. It seems to fade. It's wonderful. It sort of tones it down beautifully. Then it builds to that quite a licorice element that comes through. A nice bit of licorice in there. And I would say the finish is metallic, dry oak and peppery. It's quite very, very enjoyable indeed. Like I said, this Caroni 12, I picked it up for about £45 online. I think for the fact that you are getting probably a little bit of history here, it's a wonderful rum to enjoy. I think that's a really reasonable price. I'm quite happy to pay that. I certainly pick myself another bottle up. And I would say, if you're thinking of getting a bottle, you might want to think about getting yourself a bottle to buy and a bottle to put away. This has been my little look at Caroni 12, bottled by Velia. My name's Andy, and until next time, enjoy, guys.